the Peaceful Mother. Hello and welcome to The Peaceful Mother, where I empower you to go from reactive parenting to proactive parenting, helping you heal old wounding and teaching you how to regulate your nervous system so that you can show up as the peaceful parent that you aspire to be. I'm Emily. I am a parenting coach, a trauma recovery coach, and author of The Angry Mom's Guide to Self-Regulation. You may already know me from my Instagram or Facebook pages. Whether you are new here or not, I am so glad that you decided to click on this video. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share so that we can get this information out there to as many parents in need as possible. All right, let's get into this. All right, so today I am going to teach you a few techniques that you can use to down-regulate when you are feeling anxious. And they also work when you're feeling excited. Like if you are so excited about something and you need to bring it down, these are gonna be great. A lot of times anxiety and excitement can feel the same in our body. Same for fear and excitement. A lot of times it all kind of feels the same. It manifests in the same way with like the racing heart and the getting hot and all of those different things. So obviously from person to person, we experience our emotions a little bit differently, but generally speaking, they are going to often feel the same for each individual. So whatever the case may be, anxiety, super crazy excitement, these are down-regulating exercises that are going to help you bring it down into a more regulated state. So we're bringing you into your parasympathetic nervous system so that you can get back to resting and digesting and moving on with your day and thinking more clearly, more logically, things like that. Before we get started, I want to remind you that my 7-day nervous system reset challenge is available on my website now. I will go ahead and put the link in the description. This is 7 days of new regulatory exercises similar to the ones that you are seeing in this video and the other videos in this series. So I definitely recommend checking that out. So far, the testimonials, the reviews have been wonderful, so check it out, links in the description. All right, so before we get into today's exercises, I want to remind you that we always want to test our nervous system when we are practicing. So if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say testing your nervous system, please go ahead and pause this video, take a look back on my page and look for my video on testing the nervous system, and then meet us back here because you're going to want to know that information. Now, this is the last video in my series on teaching you specific upregulating and downregulating techniques for very specific emotions. So we did anger, sadness, fear, and here we are. We did shame as well, and here we are doing anxiety and or excitement. So the first one that we are going to do today is left nostril breathing. And before we get into that, we of course want to test our nervous system. All right, so I'm going to get started with a simple head rotation. Okay. All right, so I have established my baseline. So now we are going to get into left side nostril breathing. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to plug our right nostril and we're just going to breathe in and out through our left nostril for about 3 to 5 breaths. All right, let's go ahead and test our nervous system, see how it responded. Okay, my body liked that. So our next technique is the long exhale breath. Now, I am in the same position that I was before. I'm just staying seated. If that's the case for you, you don't have to keep testing before and after each one. You just we just tested after our last breath, so we know where we're at going into this next one. Of course, if you move locations, if you decide to stand or you started standing and now you're sitting, whatever, you might want to go ahead and establish a new baseline. So I'm in the same spot, so let's get started on our long exhale breath. We're simply going to breathe in through our nose for a count of 4, and then we're going to breathe out through our mouth for a count of 8, or as long as it takes to really empty out your lungs. So I will show you how that looks, and then we can do it together. All right, let's go ahead and do that together one more time. All right, and let's let's go ahead and test and see how our nervous system is responding to that. Okay, I definitely increased my range of motion with that one. How about you? As always, I love to know what's working for you and what isn't, so please let me know in the comments. All right, so our last technique is actually a neutral technique. The others that we talked about are down regulating. So this is when you are in a state of hyper arousal, like anxiety and excitement, and you need to bring it down a little more. So this one is more neutral. You can use it when you are hyper or hypo aroused. It's a really great go-to technique. So this one is box breathing. So for box breathing, we are simply going to breathe in through our nose for a count of 4. We're going to hold it for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, and then hold it for a count of 4. And I'm going to make a box with my finger as I do this counting in my head, and that way you can just kind of follow the finger and do it together with me. So we'll go ahead and do a couple breaths here. I'm going to do one. You can kind of watch what I'm doing, and then you can join in for the second one. So let's do it. All right, let's go ahead and do that together now. All right, and let's go ahead and test our nervous system. Okay. All right, please let me know which of those worked for you this time. And keep in mind, as I mentioned in my video on testing, sometimes techniques work for us one day and other days they don't. Sometimes they work for us one moment and then not the next. So if you didn't respond well to these today, obviously listen to your body today and on a positive result, something that you do have a positive result with, but also, try it again another day because you might have a different result. So keep that in mind. Thank you so much for joining me for this series. If you haven't checked out my other videos on sadness, shame, fear, and anger, please go ahead and look at those, and stay tuned for more on nervous system regulation, healing, and peaceful parenting.